Hey guys, Charles here from worshipguitarskills.com, back again with another video for you. And today I've got a couple of different parts to show you. This is a song, Great Are You Lord. The chords are simply 4, 6, 5. In the key of A, that'll be D, F sharp minor, and E. And I want to show you a couple of cool things that I'm doing from a power chord perspective to a 4-2 dyad melodic voicing perspective, and then also to kind of a lead guitar, rhythmic lead perspective. So let's go ahead, play all three parts together for you, and afterwards we'll break them down. Alright, so what's happening in this song, at least is for this portion that we are doing today, it starts with that power chords on the electric. Now, I want to show you something, and this doesn't always work in worship settings, but a song like this sometimes calls for that fullness, and it's got a lot of space. So the first time around, I just played simple power chords. It was starting with a D. This is 5 and 7 on the A and D strings. Move that up to the F sharp for F sharp 5. And then when I went to E, I played the same chord 2 frets down, but I added the open E string. And then I kind of split the chord up like that, where I play the E string and the A string together, followed by the D and the G. So we've covered this before from a rhythmic point of view, where it's almost like drums. You've got the kick, the thud, and the snare, that crack sound. And then D, F sharp, 5, E. All right, nothing special about that, but if you're a rhythm guitar player and you want to create that bed, that really awesome harmony there, that's a great way to get those full chords up. Now, the second part of that, we wanted to even add more depth and dimension to it, so to speak. So what I use there is something you don't get in worship very often, but it is inverted power chords. Now, an inverted power chord is simply a power chord with the fifth in the bass. And this is normally associated with more kind of heavy rock, when you are looking for almost a detuned sound on your guitar without having to detune it. So I'll quickly play the difference for you so you can hear it. Here's a normal D, followed by a normal F sharp. Now the inverted D5. So as you can hear, whenever I go to that inverted D and the inverted F sharp, both inverted power chords, it sounds like this wall of sound. And all I'm really doing is I'm adding in the fifth below the power chord. Now, like I said, this doesn't always work in a worship setting because sometimes you don't want that big wall of sound, but this is a great way in which you can get kind of, it sounds like multiple guitars playing together, or even a detuned guitar without having to detune it. So the way you do that is simply a D power chord like this, but then you're putting A, the A note, in the bass. Sounds much fatter than just a normal D5. So that's D5 over A, and F sharp 5 over C sharp, and then I just went back to my normal E5. Now you could also play an E5 over B, then it'll be D, now, like I said, you'll probably hear that more in like heavier rock styles, But for me, if you listen to the song, it's got a lot of space. It's at 6/8 feel and the groove happening there. But the lyrics of the song is "Great Are You, Lord." So I think of my guitar like a little guitar army in that point, like a mini orchestra. And you want to just declare the greatness of God. So for me personally, when you get that electric, that wall of sound, it just adds to the moment of that song. And that just works super well. In my opinion, that's what I use a lot of times if I want to fatten things up from a rhythm perspective. So nice and simple. The first time it was just D5, F sharp 5 to E5, D5, F sharp 5 to E5, D5 over A, F sharp 5 over C sharp. Fat sound, right? Inverted bar chord. And then it was ending in an A5. And that is it. That is the rhythm part that I used for that example. Let's go ahead now and check out the middle part, which is kind of like I call these 4/2 voicings because they are dyads. And a dyad is a chord that consists of 2 notes. And the reason I call it the 4/2 dyad, it's on strings 4 and 2. So let me go ahead and play the track for you again so you can just focus on that 4/2 section. And afterwards, I'll break that down for you. All right.
You remember?
Yeah. All right, so if you've been following along with any of our videos on this channel, you know that I've taught these 4/2 voicings at length. In essence, it's a triad like this. But I'm not playing that G string, I'm only playing the B and the D strings. So that therefore this will be a D, F sharp minor, and E. Again, D, F sharp minor, and E. And you'll see that I'm using a hybrid picking. So that means I'm picking the D string with my pick and the B string with my middle finger. Right, hybrid picking works super well with these voicings. And then rhythmically, instead of just playing, that is kind of the rhythm. It's pick, finger, and you just listen to the rhythm like this. That is the basic rhythm, but then I want to create some melodic interest. So I know that I want to land on these 2 notes. So I'm embellishing, I'm kind of hammering on from the 5th fret to the 7th fret on the B string. And then a slight delayed attack there for the last hammer on. Again. Instead of just playing, now I've got, then I've got, again I've got just, that's my F sharp minor, which is fret 11 and 10, and then I'm just sliding from 9 to 10. Then on E, And that's basically that rhythm. I'm literally using the D chord is 2 notes, the F sharp minor is 2 notes, the E is 2 notes, but every time I am embellishing the top note with the note just before it in a scale. Just that little bit of embellishment, and you're probably familiar with this. If you had to do something like that with a D, that's exactly what's happening here. And then I'm just carrying that idea. And you can get very inventive with that, but we just kept it kind of simple for this part. So let's go ahead and play it again, that part, so you can hear what it sounds like with the drums and the bass and everything together. And after that, we'll break down the final part. All right, so as you can see, when I had my 4/2 voicings, it kind of gave me an idea of what I can do with embellishing that melody. So obviously a lot of delay happening there. And then there's a fun interplay between the delay as I'm playing this fairly syncopated pattern. But without the delay, all I'm doing is I'm bouncing between 2 notes. That's it. Rhythmically, I'm going. All right, that syncopation really adds a lot of rhythmic interest. And then obviously with the delay and the bouncing between the 2 chord tones, well, one is a chord tone, one is a non-chord tone. Really cool, you can get such great ideas with that. I kept it simple just between the 2 notes, but you can also kind of mess around by doing stuff like this. You just don't want to overdo it. That's why in the example that I did, I just kept it nice and simple. Now, the second time when we went over the progression, when the other electric guitar played those inverted power chords, again, I just wanted to see how can we lift it to another level. And then this moved up from this portion over the neck over here, which I would consider the middle portion. It moved up here past the higher portion. And then this song is in the key of A, so the A major pentatonic or F sharp minor pentatonic will work great there. So I did a similar thing, rhythmically speaking, but my notes were different. without the delay, it sounds like this. So you just kind of have to feel that rhythm. I'm not going to try and count it for you here, but the notes are simply 14 on the B, 14 on the G, to 16. So 14, 14, 16, 14. So I've got 14 on the B, 14, 16 on the G, 14 on the D, and then 14, 16 on the G again. So that'll be... And then again 14, 16 on the G as a pickup note. Check this out. That's the basis of that rhythm, and then with the delay, and then over there, instead of just going, I'm just adding in a little pickup there again, which is 14, 17, 14. For a little bit of a melodic interest there. And then when I finish it off, it was simply 14 on the B, 16, 14, 13, 14 on the G. And then I ended it off with my note ringing on the A note there. So it's very bouncy, as you can hear. And the other thing that you kind of experiment with, again, just kind of depending on how you want the guitar to behave, you can kind of experiment with how you're using palm muting. So singers, they have this thing, obviously the way that they shape their mouth, or the bigger they open their mouth when they sing, it changes the sound of their voice. So we have a similar kind of a opportunity with palm muting. So I can either palm mute everything, or gradually open that up. Palm mute. Open it up. Or I can leave all this palm muted, and then when I go to the higher part, that's when I open it up. For example, it's totally up to you how you want to experiment with the sound. But there's 3 fun approaches with this. Number 1, power chords that you can use inverted as well. 4/2 voicings. And then bouncing melodic parts. It goes up. Couple of interesting ideas for a song like that. The main thing I want to show you here is how you can add depth and dimension by the way that you choose your voicings. Either simple power chords, fattening it up with inverted power chords, getting more of that mid-range happening with your 4/2 voicings, while you can add melodic movement, and then going full on in a lead playing environment, yet still having it be very rhythmic, so you don't lose the rhythmic pulse and the rhythmic drive that you've got for a song. So those are a couple of ways that I think about parts, especially when a song calls for it. Other times I won't be as busy as this, but this song, the lyrics, the feel, it kind of calls for that in my opinion. So I hope you enjoyed these parts. If you like the style of teaching and the style of playing, just check out the links in the description. There's a lot of links and things to more teaching resources, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, because that way you'll get notified whenever we release new videos like this, especially if you hit the bell icon. You'll get those notifications in real time. Right, guys, have fun. Share this video with somebody if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.